For more on this, we've reached Shiraz Ahmed. He's a senior financial advisor and senior portfolio manager, as well as the founder of the sartorial wealth team of Raymond James, a financial services firm, and he joins us from Mississauga, Ontario. Shiraz, nice to see you. Thanks for taking the time.
My pleasure. Thank you so much for having me.
So walk us through this rebate. Who's eligible and how much are they getting?
It's a great question. So it really just depends, like you said in the intro there, on how many people there are in the household. So for a single Canadian, it can start upwards of about $234. And if you have a couple kids, it can range upwards to $628. For seniors, they're getting about $225. And couples or families that with two common law partners or spouses can have $306 and going up to $628 as well.
Okay, so that's a good breakdown of who's eligible. Who is this leaving out?
That's a pretty loaded one as well. So that one is really anybody who makes, unfortunately, more than $38,000 combined household income, or a single person earning more than $32,000. So I'd say the vast majority of the middle-class Canadians.
And so given that the vast majority of middle-class Canadians are being left out, do you think that this is enough? What are you hearing from your clients?
So unfortunately, I think this is really not going to move the needle substantially. Even for those 11 million people that are going to be getting the payment, it is effectively a rebranded GST payment. I mean, they're calling it a grocery rebate, but really it's not being spent on groceries, at least not necessarily. It's not coming as a result of you spending money towards groceries. So it's really kind of more of a marketing ploy on that end more than anything. But for the clients that I've been speaking to and what we've been hearing from them, it's really kind of a partial measure, not even a full measure or even a half measure. So at this point, it's great. Some money is better than no money. So I would agree that that's a great move by the government. And at least somebody's really doing something to address the fact that we are having an inflation problem with our food prices.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's important to mention that it's being billed as a grocery rebate. You don't have to spend it on groceries. You can spend it on whatever you need or whatever you want, but you make it sound as though this is a Band-Aid solution. Do you agree? And what do you think could be done to actually fix the issue when it comes to the high cost of basics like food?
So that's a really important question, and I think it's kind of multifaceted. So if we look at the problem, it's not just from one area. We have, we coming off the back of COVID, the crisis there had a lot of challenges. We had supply chain challenges in addition to that as well. We have the Ukraine war going on as well. We've had a really weird climate situation over the last couple of years. So all these have created really a perfect storm for food prices. And then on top of that, in Canada, we have a bit of an oligopoly when it comes to our grocery retailers. So I think we're treating the symptom, not necessarily the cause. So this will help. And again, it is somebody doing something. So for that part, I do give them kudos that somebody's really trying to address the problem, but it's really not going to move the needle, because even for those 11 million Canadians that are going to get that payment, it's perhaps maybe 3-4 weeks, depending on how healthy you eat. So it will do something, but it's not going to do a ton.
So what can struggling Canadians do to make their money go farther?
So this is where something I alluded to a couple months back, but I mean, just being a smarter shopper. I mean, look for deals. I know it's not fashionable, but I kind of use the analogy of this is like cutting out carbs when you're trying to lose some weight. It's not really fun, but it works. But you think of price matching. A lot of retailers do offer price matching. That really will help go a long way. Couponing, it's not great, but it does work. And on top of that, even just timing your big purchases or vacations, and even taking advantage of free activities that exist in your own city. So there's a lot of things that we can do to stretch our dollar. And speaking of the dollar, try using cash, not necessarily credit, where available. Part of the reason that is really more because if you break a $100 bill, you start to see very quickly how much money you've spent. And if you're feeling a bit of a pinch, it's a really good way for you to start keeping track and being more mindful of how much money you're actually spending.
Shiraz, always good to talk to you. Thank you.
My pleasure. Thank you so much for having me.
Shiraz Ahmed is a senior financial advisor and senior portfolio manager, as well as the founder of the sartorial wealth team of Raymond James.